Hi there. Today we're going to talk about using Power Automate to send customized email subscriptions to our staff. And the difference between this and the email subscriptions that you can send through the web service in Power BI is this sort of method lets you completely customize who and what you send through the email, and you can also either attach or embed things that you are pulling from your data set into the email. So for example, in this case, we're going to send information about recent sales purchases to our sales account owners, and we're going to send only the data that is for a particular account owner to that person. So we're not going to send them everything, just the things that apply to them. And this technique does not require premium licensing. In this case, we're going to get by with using Pro. And actually, since we're attaching the data for this email, we're not asking our users to open up the Power BI report. That means that the people that this data is meant to serve do not actually need Power BI licenses at all either. So that's kind of cool. So what we need to do first is set up a table or a visual of some kind that has exactly what we want to send in the email. And in this case, we're going to send our users a table in HTML format in the email. So we need to make a visual that has the data that we want to send. And you don't necessarily have to do it this way, but I think this is the easiest way to do it. So set up the table the way you want it and put any filters that you want applied into the visual level filters. So in this case, I've got a relative date filter. So what you would normally use this for is giving people a summary of, say, what happened in the last 30 days on an every 30-day subscription. This data is Microsoft demo data, so it's super stale. So I can't say the last 30 days in here because it's like multiple years old. So I've got my relative date filter here as greater than or equal to negative 500 days. This is using a date table. So this is something that date tables are really useful for, is getting relative dates. So I've got that filter in there, and then I've got filtered out here salesperson not being blank. So you can add whatever filters you want in here, and then you can use that when you send your email to limit the data that it is sending to the email. So what we're going to do next is we are going to open up the Optimize tab in the ribbon, and we are going to go to the Performance Analyzer. And this might sound kind of strange, but this is where we get our query. So what we're going to do is press Start Recording, and then refresh visuals to refresh the visuals on the page, and then stop. And when you do that, your table here, if you open up your table has a DAX query. And that is what we're going to need to send our email, or rather to get the data to put in our email. So we're going to click on Copy Query here. So you do need to publish this before you create the Power Automate flow on it, because it's referencing specific fields in this visual. So if this visual isn't published to your workspace, then your flow is going to fail. So I'm just going to publish this real quick and copy that. And now we're going to go to Power Automate. So in your browser, if you go to the app launcher here, Power Automate should be one of the apps you have. And Power Automate is usually included with most basic subscriptions. So you shouldn't need a special license for it unless it's been explicitly disabled. We're going to go to Add a New Flow up here. So click on Add New Flow, and we're going to make this a scheduled cloud flow. So if you want your email to be on a schedule versus a one-time thing, you're going to want a scheduled flow, and we're going to name it. Make sure to give it a descriptive name. And choose your start time and then how often you want it to repeat. So we definitely don't want every minute. You could do this once a week or once a day. I'm going to go with once a week on Monday and click on Create. And I initially found out about this technique from my former coworker, Anne. So Anne, if you're watching this, thank you for discovering this for us. I added on to your technique and made some changes, but the gist of it is very similar. So we have our new reoccurrence. Now we need to get our data into this flow. And so we're going to click on New Step and then search for Power BI in here. So we want the Power BI, wow, there's a lot of them in here. So we want to query a data set. run a query against a data set. So that's the one we want. And we're going to choose the workspace and choose our data set. This was AdventureWorks. And query text. This is where we're gonna put in what we copied from Power BI a minute ago. So we're just gonna paste it in there. And I'm gonna go ahead and save it now. And you can test these queries at any point when you are making them step by step. So I kind of recommend, as you're going through the steps, just running a test to see if it works. So I'm just gonna go ahead and test this. Me up to a window, tells us what happened. So it looks like that part worked. And here's our output. So now let's go back and edit. So let's add our next step, and that is going to be parse JSON, because this step creates a JSON response. So we're just going to search for the word parse and it'll pop up. Click add. And for content, when we click into this cell, we're going to want to use first table rows down here. And for the schema, what we're going to do is go back over to the flow that we tested earlier and go to the run history and get the schema from that there. So I'm going to go open my flows in a new tab. I should have just left it open, but then open up our flow that we made, and you can see there's a bunch of failures in here from when I pasted in the wrong thing. But what we want to do is go to our test run that succeeded and go to this output step here. So we're going to copy the output from this output section here. Click anywhere in the box and do a Control A to select all, and then Control C to copy. And then come back over here and we're going to click on generate from sample and have some stuff in here already. You probably won't have anything in there. So paste what we just copied in there, then click done. All right, so now we need a step that will hold our account owner emails in a variable that we can use to send the emails. So we're going to initialize a variable. So if you search for the word initialize, it'll pop up here. And for our name of our variable, I'm going to call it account owner emails. And we're going to change the type to array. And we're going to rename this step. And I always like to rename these steps as I go instead of all at the end, because a lot of the different actions reference other cards by their title. And so if you rename them later, it can break references. And we're just initializing this right now. We haven't put anything in it yet. Okay, so now we need to put something inside of the variable. And to do that, we're going to add a new step. So that's under controls and then apply to each. And in this case, we're going to put the body as an item in here. So for some reason, Power Automate thinks that there could potentially be multiple bodies, and that's why it forces you to put it in apply to each loop. If you don't do this, when you try and drop in the variable into a set variable action, it'll add the for each loop for you. So we're just going to go ahead and do it. We're going to look for the step append. So we're going to append to array variable because that's the type of variable that we've created. And we are going to append to account owner emails. For the value, we're going to choose our email address. So salespeople email, and that's going to tack on all of the email addresses in our JSON into our array. And we're going to be able to use that to get the distinct email addresses we want to email to. Took some Googling, but what you do is you do a compose action and you basically join your array with itself. So what we're going to put in the input, I'm going to go to the expression tab, and I'm going to use union. So union, open parentheses, and then we're going to select our variable. So I'm going to click on this dynamic content button that gets half covered up by the helper pop-up. And I'm going to select our account owner emails variable, and then I'm going to put a comma, put in the same variable again. So join the variable to itself, and then click OK. That'll put it in as a card here. If you need to edit this later, you can click on it and it'll pop up and you can edit. So I'm going to rename this card to get distinct emails. So this will keep it from sending a bajillion emails to the same person. We wouldn't want that. So now that we have our emails, we need to do another apply to each step. To apply, we're going to send an email to each person that was in that distinct email addresses list. So we're going to go to control and apply to each. And we first need to apply this for each loop to all of the distinct email addresses. So we're going to send one email to each person. So we're going to choose the output from the step directly above this, which was the get distinct email. So this one right here. So for each distinct email address, we are going to add an action, filter array. So filter array is going to filter the data that we pulled out of our Power BI dataset. So we want to filter that by the email address of the account owner so that they only get things that were for themselves. So we're going to put in here the array to filter is our parse JSON step, so our body. So for our filter, we want to do the account owner email. So the salesperson email is equal to the current item. So the current item is whatever distinct email address we're currently on in our for each loop. So whenever the account owner name is equal to the distinct owner that we want to send it to, then we have two options here, and I'm going to show you both. We can either insert the table as an HTML table in the email, so to embed it in the email, or we can attach it as a CSV file. And there's more ways that you can attach the file, so you could do like a PDF or something if you wanted to, but those are going to be premium connectors, so we're just going with the simple CSV. So first, to do the HTML table, I'm going to search for the letters HTML and go with this create HTML table action. So we're going to create an HTML table from our filter array step. And we want the body of our filter array step here. And if you want to, under show advanced options, you have the option of setting your specific column titles. And I kind of recommend that because the defaults are not super user-friendly. So we're going to set this to custom columns. And for our first column, we want the sales order date. And you can't have spaces in these, by the way. And then we're going to set that equal to the sales order date from our filter array. And the product category here. And the sales amount. All right, so that's our HTML table. So if we wanted to create a CSV file to attach to the email instead of embedding it as an HTML table, we would add a different step here. We would use the, if you search for CSV, it'll pop up, create a CSV table, and do pretty much the same thing here. So we're using the output of the filter array, so the body. And under show advanced, we're going to customize our columns and do the same thing we did earlier. And by the way, when you're creating these, make sure that you're selecting the fields from the filter arrays step specifically, not because there's two in here and it can get kind of confusing when you have a lot of stuff going on, to make sure you select the right one. But we don't want the parse JSON, we want the filter array to get the filtered values. So there's our CSV. So now we can send our email. So I'm going to add another action that is send email. I prefer to use the send an email v2, this one here. This one will come from the mailbox that you're creating this flow with, or the one that's running the flow. And that one looks a little bit more official. So you could use a Microsoft 365 group for this, to have it use a shared group mailbox to send the email. That's kind of cool, because then when people reply to it, it actually goes somewhere. So send an email, we're going to send this to current item card here. So the current item being whatever email address we are at in the for each loop. So I'm going to use this one. Make sure to use the second loop, not the first loop. The first loop was the one we were using up in this step. We want the one that we are currently in. And that's the email address. For the subject, you can do whatever you want with this. You can use dynamic cards in the subject. So if you wanted to put today's date in there, you can. That would be an expression. There's an expression for today. It's called UTC now, but then you have to go and reformat that date to get the timestamp out of it, and it's kind of a pain. So we're just going to go with a plain subject line. And for the body, what we want is the output from our create HTML table step. So we're going to insert that. And then for our attachment, if we were wanting to attach the CSV, we would go under Show Advanced Options. Under attachments here, so we need an attachment name. We can call this make sure to put .csv in the name of it so that it knows what file extension to make your attachment. And then for the content, we're going to put in our create CSV table output step and then click save. And if you want to, you can test it, but if you test it, keep in mind that because you are sending the email to the person in the data set, it may be sending your test email to all of the people in your data set. So if you want to just send these to yourself temporarily, you can change this to email address to just your email address. So I'm realizing that I should probably trim down the size of this of my PBIX table that we did the query for this, because it is I don't want it to send me 600 emails, and that's probably somewhere around how many it's going to send me. So I'm going to fast forward a step and trim down my data table that I'm using for this so that I don't send myself a million emails, but I want you to be able to see what it looks like. So I'll be right back. Okay, so let's test this. So I'm going to test manually, save and test. And I have it sending to myself. Let's see what happens. So I should be getting, I filtered down the table to just one account owner. So I should just be getting one account owner's worth of stuff. See how it goes. So we can click through the steps and see what's happening here. So it looks like it got the account owner emails. And if you click through these, you'll notice it's all the same email address, which is totally normal. And then down here, we get the distinct values. So we have just one now. And because we're testing, normally we'd have more values in here. And then for each loop, it filtered down to just this person's data, and it made us a nice HTML table. And here's our CSV, and then our email. So let's see what the email looked like. All right, so here is the email that it sent us. So it's got the HTML table, which looks like this. And if you wanted to, you could probably do some fancy stuff to make it look a little nicer. Maybe that's a topic for a future video. And then here's our CSV attachment. So if I open this up, and there it is. I have one more kind of related video coming out soon, which is how to snapshot your data using a similar technique. So watch out for that one. Once I've published it, I'll link it in the description too, so you can get right to it. Thank you for watching.